Whenever we talk about cruising motorcycles, the only brand that comes in our head is Harley and Davidson. But today, we're not at Harley and Davidson. We are at Bajaj to review this relaunched 2023 Bajaj Avenger 220 Street. This is not the cruise, this is the street edition. So yes guys, let's take a walk around and ride review of this bike. Let's see how this new relaunched bike feels. So yes guys, hello, namaste, vanakkam, welcome to my YouTube channel, Vlogger Bajaj. Alright, so here with us we have the new relaunched Bajaj Avenger 220 Street. Let's start with the walk around the bike. On the front you get 17-inch alloy with tubeless tires. The front section of the tire is 90 by 90. On the front you get a 280mm disc with ABS, and you also get telescopic suspensions, and you also get a beautiful cover for the telescopic suspensions. Moving on to the front, on the front you get a beautiful LED DRL. The indicator and the headlamp is halogen. Moving on to the side of the bike, the seat height of the bike is 737mm. The ground clearance is 169mm and the wheelbase is 1490. And when we come in the front, you get a beautiful side stand here. You get a center stand, which is a very cool deal here. As you get a open chain system, you need to clean the chain every 300-400 kilometers. The center stand would really help. Here you get a beautiful sari guard. Moving on to the back, on the rear you get a complete halogen setup. Moving on to this side, on the rear you get a 15-inch alloy wheel with tubeless tires. The section of the tire is 130 by 90, and you get drum brakes on the rear. You don't get disc brakes on the rear. Here you can see the beautiful exhaust. And moving on to the engine, talking about the engine, here you get a 220cc single cylinder oil cooled engine with 5-speed gearbox, which produces 19 PS of power at 8500 rpm and 17.5 newton meters of torque at 7000 rpm. Take a look at the instrument cluster. Let's turn on the key. On the front you can see Street 220 written over here, and here you can see the speedometer. This is your odometer, and this is the trip 1, trip 2. Here you can see the clock. नीचे में यहाँ पे आपको फ्यूल गेज मिल जाता है. फिलहाल के लिए तो फ्यूल कम है इसलिए दिखा नहीं रहा. On the handlebar here you get a engine kill switch, engine start button. This is for high beam, low beam. On this side you get the pass light. This is for the indicator. This is the pass light. And this is the horn. Let's see how the horn of the bike sounds. Okay, the horn is pretty loud. Now let's take a look at the exhaust note of this bike. Talking about the color scheme of the bike, in this bike you get a chrome black color, and the accessories that you get on this bike, like the crash guard and other accessories, are in matte black. So yes guys, that was it with the walk around of this beautiful Bajaj Avenger 220. Let's start the bike. Let's ride it and see how the bike feels. Alright, so here with us we have the new Bajaj Avenger 220 Street. And I'm sorry for the camera quality. Actually मेरे कैमरे पे जो है 1-2 scratches लग गए हैं, but I wanted to shoot this vlog as fast as I can, as a really new launched bike. Like कुछ दिन पहले ही launch हुई है, so I was like, let's shoot it anyways. Please bear with the camera quality. Let's start the bike and let's do a ride review. Oh, this bike feels so smooth, man. The throttle on this bike is really smooth. Oh, really beautiful and smooth. This thing sends itself like a crazy machine, man. A crazy machine. The throttle is so good on this bike. The throttle response is just so good. I just loved it. The downshifts are also quite smooth. आराम से. The power delivery on the bike is really good, and even the gears are quite good. Like I was on the second gear on the hill and I didn't feel any kind of a toggle to pull this bike up, so that's a pretty good deal. And I don't know why I am getting too much of confidence to, you know, bend this bike over onto corners. Like this bike is giving me a hell lot of confidence. It might be because of the good tires or the alignment of this motorcycle. I don't know what it is, but I am getting a hell lot of confidence on the corners. Like I am leaning the bike like anything. Well, this bike is very similar to the Bajaj Avenger 220 Cruise. The only difference between this bike and that bike is this bike has got a shorter handlebar for city riding. That bike has a bigger handlebar, the wider handlebar for, you know, comfort highway riding. Secondly, on that bike you get a windscreen by company, but on this bike you will have to install it aftermarket. But the bike company say, but you have to install it after you purchase this motorcycle. Accessories that you get on this bike are in matte black, and the accessories that you get on the Cruise 220 are chrome, and that's the only difference between this bike and the Cruise bike, the Street 220 and the Cruise 220. बाकी दोनों बाइक्स एकदम सिमिलर है, नो डिफरेंस. टॉकिंग अबाउट द टैंक ऑफ दिस बाइक इज़ 13 लीटर का टैंक है इसमें, विथ 3 लीटर्स ऑफ रिजर्व. हाईवे पे एक नंबर जाएगी गाड़ी. द माइलेज ऑफ द बाइक इज़ ऑल्सो अराउंड 35 to 40. हाईवे पे अगेन इट कैन गिव यू 45 तक का माइलेज दे देगी हाईवे पे. सो गुड. लाइक बाइक भागती है, बाइक खींचती है, जो खींचती है ना, सही खींचती है यार भाई. ये बाइक बहुत सही खींचती है. आई लव्ड इट. इसका खींचना आई लव्ड इट. आई ऑनेस्टली लव्ड इट. द पोजिशनिंग ऑफ द बाइक इज़ रियली गुड. पाम्स पे ज़्यादा प्रेशर नहीं आता, बट आफ्टर अ सर्टेन टाइम बैक पे थोड़ा प्रेशर आने लग जाता है, तो बैक हल्की सी पेन करती है. बट या इट्स ओके. इट्स अ क्रूज़र बाइक. उतना तो हम क्रूज़र से एक्सपेक्ट कर ही सकते हैं. The brakes of the bike are very good. Both the brakes. On the front you get a 280mm disc with ABS. On the rear you don't get ABS, or on the rear you don't get disc brakes. You get normal drum brakes. But both of them are really bitey, and I'm loving this bike. If you guys are into cruising, you can surely get this bike as your starter bike. Harley Davidson तो एक दिन जरूर उठाएंगे ही for sure, no doubt. Harley Davidson तो उठानी है, but for startup you can start on this beautiful Bajaj Avenger Street 220. And also this has a side stand cutoff sensor. I was checking that out. So that was it with the walk around and ride review of this beautiful Bajaj Avenger 220 Street. If you have any other queries about this bike or any other bike, you can directly contact to Pratik sir. Pratik sir का number यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है. If you are from Pune, you can visit Sai Service Bajaj Wakdewadi and even call Pratik sir. Pratik sir will directly help you out. So yes, that's it with your video guys. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to hit the like button. नीचे एक लाल कलर का सुंदर सा बटन रहेगा, उसे भी दबा के मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब हो जाना. Yes guys, this vlog about AJ signing off, breaking all records. I'll see you soon in the next one. Till then, peace, bye bye, शब खैर. मिलेंगे अगले vlog में. तब तक के लिए bye bye.